Where in the world is a country with the third largest gold holdings by a central bank? Surprise, it's Italy. Why do they hold gold, and why should you? To find out more, stick around. Welcome to Silver Heist. Thank you to our returning subscribers and guests. We are a channel that likes to hold physical gold and silver. To support my creation, please subscribe. Just like me, you may not have realized that Italy's central bank has one of the world's largest gold reserves. We're going to look at their website to see in their own words why they hold gold. When you hear the reasons, you might find them valid reasons why you should make gold part of your holdings. We will look at how much gold they have, where they hold it, but most importantly, why. Let's look at the Bank of Italy's website. Focus on the Bank of Italy's gold reserves. The purpose of the gold reserves is to boost confidence in the stability of Italy's financial system and of the single currency. This function becomes all the more important when geopolitical conditions or the international economic situation could put the financial markets at additional risk, such as of a foreign exchange or financial crisis. The Bank of Italy owns the world's fourth largest gold reserves after the U.S. Federal Reserve, the Deutsche Bundesbank, and the International Monetary Fund. The bank's gold weighs 2,452 tons, mostly in bars. There are 95,493 of them, but with a small portion of coins too. Gold is valued according to the Eurosystem's accounting rules, i.e., at end-of-year market prices. At December 31st, 2018, the bank's gold reserves were worth about 88 billion euros. Gold does not carry any solvency risk because it is not issued by an authority, such as a government or central bank. It has a number of features that set it apart from most of the other metals found in nature. In its pure state, it is almost incorruptible. It does not rust or oxidize. It is easy to transport and store, and its great malleability makes it highly workable. Throughout history, these features, along with gold's scarcity, have made it a useful unit for measuring the value of goods and an efficient means of payment. Because of gold's characteristics and functions, central banks use it for a variety of purposes. They buy and sell it for financial reasons or to adjust the level of the reserves. They deposit it to earn income and use it as a collateral to obtain loans. The bank acquired its gold reserves as a result of a series of events occurring throughout its 120 years of existence. In 1893, three issuing institutes, Banca Nazionale del Regno d'Italia, Banco Nazionale Toscana, and Banca Toscana de Credito, merged to create the Bank of Italy, which was initially endowed with its own reserve of gold. These reserves increased progressively until the outbreak of World War II. By the end of the war, they were seriously depleted, partly because of some of its gold reserves had been removed by the occupying forces. After the war, Italy became an exporting country, receiving large inflows of foreign currency, principally dollars, some of which were converted into gold. This gold was used, for example, in 1976 to guarantee a loan from the Bundesbank. At the end of the 1990s, after the bank had purchased the residual gold holdings of the former Italian Foreign Exchange Office, the volume of gold reserves settled at the present 2,452 tons. Most of the bank's gold reserves are housed in its vault, and the rest deposited with a small number of central banks. There are historical reasons for this decision. The gold was purchased there, but is also the result of a policy of diversification designed to minimize both cost and risk. A portion of the reserves is deposited close to the main bullion markets, so that in case of need, the gold can be sold quickly and transported inexpensively. The present location of the gold reserves is judged to be satisfactory, and no relocation is envisioned for the time being. The four main locations of Italy's gold are: the most is in Italy, 1,100 tons, the United States, just over 1,000 tons, Switzerland 149 tons, and the United Kingdom 141 tons. The main physical market for gold is London, where the metal is traded between members of the London Bullion Market Association and where the official gold price used in most international gold futures contracts is set twice daily. The LBMA has also established a set of specifications for gold bars to qualify as London Good Delivery. Thanks to these standards, professional buyers can accept gold bars without having to check the purity of the metal. A substantial part of the bank's gold meets the LBMA's London Good Delivery standard. Gold bars that fall short of it can still be traded, though at a discount on the official market price, usually equal to the cost of bringing them up to specification. The independent auditing company that certifies the Bank of Italy's annual accounts also verifies all the gold reserves in the vault in Via Nazionale, jointly with the bank's internal audit directorate. Gold reserves held abroad are certified annually by the central banks where they are deposited. If the bank wished to test directly the gold bullion on deposit with other central banks, all of which have confirmed their willingness to cooperate, it would have to follow an agreed procedure to ensure that the utmost security and confidentiality were observed during the inspection. So more specifics on why hold gold bullion. Gold has traditionally been used to measure the value of goods and was the means of payment in almost every ancient civilization, partly because it is extremely rare in nature and therefore scarce. According to the latest figures, some 183,600 tons of gold have been mined to date, source, World Gold Council, roughly equivalent to a cube measuring 21 meters on each side. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates about 50,000 tons still remain in the ground, and the number of new mines is dwindling. Some of the value of gold stems from its properties. It is ductile and malleable, as well as its resistance to oxidation and chemical reagents, meaning that it does not deteriorate and can be stored for long periods of time. Gold is an excellent hedge against adversity. Its price tends to rise when operators perceive the level of risk to be high, for instance, during military escalation, or more often, financial crisis, when financial instruments, especially high-risk ones like shares, plummet in value, but gold tends to rise in price. Incorporating gold into a financial portfolio is a way of hedging against high-risk scenarios, however unlikely. This function has been very much to the fore in recent years. In the face of widespread fears about the resilience of the financial system in 2008-2009 and the stability of the euro area in 2011 and 12, gold performed particularly well, adding considerably to the equity revaluation account in which the bank records increases in the value of its gold reserves. Another good reason for holding a large position in gold is as protection against high inflation, since gold tends to keep its value over time. Moreover, unlike foreign currencies, gold cannot depreciate or be devalued as a result of a loss of confidence. So when a foreign exchange crisis erupts, central banks can use gold in the same way as their official foreign exchange reserves to shore up confidence in the national currency. They do so by using gold as collateral for loans, or as a last resort, selling it to buy national currency and uphold the latter's value. A large stock of gold gives a central bank plenty of room for maneuver to preserve confidence in the national financial system. Of course, gold's unique properties entail financial cost, the cost of storage and security. Also, it does not offer a return, and so owning a large stock means foregoing the interest that would mature on debt securities. Those securities, however, have a fiduciary value that could evaporate in the event of a systemic crisis of confidence, undermining their role in investment diversification. Gold, on the other hand, is not an asset issued by a government or a central bank, and so does not depend on the issuer's solvency. Lastly, part of the gold is held for precautionary reasons in case the ECB demands an additional contribution of either foreign currency, including dollars and yen or gold. Since this all started with a Zero Hedge article that jumped to the Bank of Italy's website, let's look at the summary from this gentleman. He said the Central Bank of Italy's words, we just discussed: gold is an excellent hedge against adversity and high inflation. Gold cannot depreciate or be devalued. Gold is not an asset issued by a government or a central bank, and so does not depend on the issuer's solvency. So all of those reasons that are good enough for the Central Bank of Italy ought to be good enough for your portfolio. So why hold gold? Just do what the big banks do.